Governor Wes Moore announced with Senate President Bill Ferguson and House Speaker Adrian Jones on Thursday that a budget framework agreement had been reached. We've been pressing for the details of the budget plan, but we continue to have more questions than answers. Governor Moore and state leaders said a deal had been reached.
This is a product of days and weeks and months of partnership,
outlining what he called an agreed budget framework that frontlines his administration's priorities.
We're transforming Maryland into a state that is unapologetically pro-business and unapologetically pro-growth, and not just in words, but also in deeds.
Well, this is not going to help our business environment at all in Maryland, which is not very good to begin with.
Mary Kane, the president and CEO of the Maryland Chamber of Commerce, said she and the state's business community are not happy with the announced revisions that she says still remain unclear.
Any taxes on the business community is not going to be a pro-growth budget. The emphasis should be on helping the business community, and taxing it when they already have slim margins is basically sending a signal of we're not really concerned about you.
Despite few details being released by Governor Moore and state lawmakers, sources on the House Appropriations and Ways and Means Committee provided us some requested facts. The new taxes include doubling car title fees for new and used vehicles to $200, doubling the vehicle emissions fee to $30, and imposing a 3% sales tax on data and IT services like video streaming. The revised tax plan even includes a 6% vending machine tax.
Under this agreement, now 94% of Marylanders will either get a tax cut or see no change in their income taxes. That is even more than was proposed in our initial proposal. 94% of Marylanders will either get a tax cut or see no change in their income taxes.
Based on data we received from sources in the State House, a middle-class family of four bringing home $100,000 annually could get a tax break of $53 each year. However, if you buy a new used car and title it, stop by a vending machine once a week, and say pay for a streaming service like Netflix or YouTube, you could pay about $213 more in taxes annually. In this scenario, if we subtract the $53 from the $213 you now owe, you could end up paying the state about $160 more under the proposed budget, eliminating any income tax savings.
We've agreed on a framework that includes at least an additional $500 million in targeted cuts on top of the cuts that our administration has already proposed.
Spotlight on Maryland asked Governor Moore's office what those tax cuts may entail. His office responded that the cuts will be transparent as the budget makes its way through the rest of the legislative process. But since a budget passed out of the House committees hours after the governor's announcement, we asked Governor Moore the same question in a tweet. We are waiting to hear back. On Friday, Senate President Ferguson said there will be likely hundreds of small cuts to the budget that could amount to hundreds of millions of dollars as the budget presses forward to the finish line. We will continue to press for answers and keep you posted. I'm Gary Collins in the studio with Spotlight on Maryland.